The story begins as we meet a boy named Koji, who's happy he was able to make some money, but he suddenly sees a green slime, which is about to attack a father and his son. He throws his coins to defeat it, and gives the kid the bronze that it dropped, telling him he can make money by hunting monsters, but he thinks he doesn't have what it takes, since he's too afraid to fight them. Koji tells him to be more careful, and as he prepares to leave, the kid wonders if he's a hero, but when he opens up his status screen, they're shocked to see that he's a level 999 villager. We learn that ever since monsters appeared in the nation of Hexaldria, the people there have been given roles at birth, and there are those with special talents and extraordinary power. But most people are just villagers, who usually stay between level 1 and 10, and they're so weak that they can't even defeat a slime. We see a girl named Alice, who arrives at the ancient cavern, and we learn that she's looking for a legendary sword. In the city of Valmond, a girl named Kana notes that she'll save the world from monsters, and her companion Rex tells her he has the same mission. Koji heads to the Public Safety Guild, where he tells the receptionist about the quests he's completed, and he gets 5 gold as a reward, but everyone wonders how he was able to earn that much. He sees a mystery chest, which the guild is selling for 10,000 gold, and we learn that his goal is to buy it, but he still needs over 4,000. He checks out the available quests, and hears people talking about how crazy the new monster hunting quests are, but he accepts the one that gives 1 gold for defeating 30 blue devils. Meanwhile, Rex gathers a crowd, and notes that the capital continues to issue quests, because of the monsters created by the mana released by the demons. Their leader is the Demon King, and Rex thinks the world will never find peace until he's defeated, which is why he's recruiting people to fight by his side. They're amazed to see he's a hero, while Kana is a sage, so everyone volunteers to join them. One of them mentions he's a level 86 warrior who has been fighting monsters all his life, but Rex refuses to let him join his party. His condition for letting them join is that they should be able to contribute as much as him, which means their level needs to be higher than 90. They wonder why Kana is with him, because she's only level 42, so he explains that since she's a sage, she'll eventually be able to provide support, and he reveals that she's also the nation's princess. A level 52 priest also wants to join, but Rex tells him he isn't qualified, since he's too old to go on a long journey. Another priest at level 72 asks Rex to let him join since he's young, but Rex tells him he also isn't qualified, since he looks like he won't get any stronger. A girl named Tina also volunteers to join him, and she notes that she's just a level 50 priest, but Rex instantly accepts her, after looking at her thighs. He notes that he'll let one more person join his party, and another beautiful girl presents herself to him, so he decides to let her join. After that, Koji heads to the ancient cavern, where he runs into a blue devil, but he kills it in 1 hit, and realizes it dropped 34 silver coins. He continues to hunt blue devils, and one of them drops a rare devil horn, but he wonders why people pay a lot of money for it, since he doesn't think it does anything. He sees that Rex and his party are there as well, and Rex defeats a blue devil in a single blow, which impresses his companions. Kana is eager to move forward, but the other girl, Parna, tells her not to wear herself out, but she tells Parna not to treat her as a princess, since she joined their party as a sage. They wonder why they came to the dungeon, because the Demon King's castle is in the other direction. So Rex tells them there's a secret chamber, which only the royal family knows about, and it contains a legendary sword that only a level 90 or above hero can wield. They don't understand why the royal family didn't tell anyone about it, since it could have been used to defeat the Demon King, so he explains that they were waiting for a hero to be born in their family. They wonder how he knows about it, so he notes that it's thanks to Kana, because when he told her father they were forming a party, he revealed everything about the sword. Meanwhile, Koji is surrounded by the blue devils, but he instantly defeats all of them, and he realizes he's almost done with his quest. One of them attacks him from behind, but he stops it and smashes it to the ground, and he sees Alice running toward the devils. So he warns her it's dangerous, but he realizes the devils aren't attacking her. Rex continues to defeat the monsters, but he starts to get tired, so Tina heals him. She mentions she's almost out of mana, and she's impressed that Parna isn't injured at all, so she notes that she has a lot of experience in clearing dungeons alone. Kana apologizes for slowing them down, but Rex tells her not to worry about it, because he knows she's fighting hard. They reach the chamber, but realize Alice is already there, and they think she must have took the sword since it's missing. She assures them it was already gone when she got there, but they sense mana coming from her, which means she's a demon. They decide to get rid of her, since demons are their enemies, and they combine their attacks to kill her, but Koji suddenly arrives to save her. He reveals he's a villager, and they wonder what kind of item he used to block their skills, but he notes that he just used his hand to crush them. They refuse to believe him, because villagers don't have that kind of power, so he shows them his stat screen to prove he's telling the truth. Kana asks him why he protected Alice, even though she's a demon, and they point out the horns on her head. He lies that she's wearing hair accessories, and pretends that she's his sister, who went with him to the ancient cavern to complete a quest. Rex asks him what happened to the sword, so he reveals that he found it when he went there before, but he thought there was nothing special about it, so he sold it to a merchant. Rex notes that only a hero could pick up the sword, but Koji explains that he was able to do it, and he even lifts the pedestal to prove his strength. He shows them his level, and explains that he got stronger by defeating monsters every day, but Rex doesn't understand how it's possible, since he's also defeated countless monsters. Kana notes that since Koji stole the royal family's sword, he should join them and defeat the Demon King to make up for it, but he refuses to help them. Rex asks him to explain, so he notes that he doesn't care about the Demon King, since hunting monsters to make money is all he thinks about. Kana offers to marry him if he kills the Demon King, but he still doesn't change his mind, and she asks him if he doesn't want to save people who are in trouble. He calls her self-righteous, because she thinks wiping out the demons will save humanity, and as he leaves with Alice, he tells Rex he has no idea how the world works. After they leave the dungeon, Alice tells Koji he's the kind of person she's been looking for, and she asks him to marry her. He tells her he can't marry a child, and notes that he likes older women, but she explains that they can get married after 3 years. He wonders why she was after the legendary sword, so she notes that her father, the Demon King, is incredibly sick, and she knew the humans would kill him if they got the sword, so she wanted to take it away. Koji reveals that he has met the Demon King before, and she wonders if it's why he doesn't kill demons, but he just thinks there's no point in doing it. She wants to prove that humans and demons can coexist, which is why she asked him to marry her, but he doesn't think it will ever happen. He explains that the mana released by demons creates monsters, which is why the humans will always hate them, even if they don't do anything. We return to Rex's party, as Parna wonders what they should do next, since they don't have the sacred sword, so Kana mentions they should return to Valmond and make another plan. Rex thinks about what Koji said to him, and he has no idea what it means, but he knows he needs to get stronger. Alice continues to follow Koji, and reveals that she needs a favor from him, asking him to buy the medicine called a Spirit Blessing Potion for her. She notes that she has 500 silver coins, but the potion costs 10 gold, and she asks him to lend her money, because she needs it to save her father. She's worried that if her father dies, the humans will come after the demons, but he tells her it will happen eventually, no matter how much she tries to stop it. He asks her why she doesn't hate humans, so she explains that hating won't change anything, since demons are no better than humans, and he's surprised that there's a demon who thinks that way. She's glad she met him, because her father told her to have faith that there are people who don't hate demons, and even though she knows it will take time, she will continue to try to make demons and humans coexist. He decides to buy the potion for her, under the condition that she will stay with him, so she explains that she can't, because the mana from her horns will cause trouble for him. But he puts a special cloth on her horns, which stops mana from leaking out. They head to the city, where she's amazed to see all kinds of different things, and a shopkeeper gives her an apple for free, since he knows it's her first time there. Koji tells her about the currency in this world, and notes that 10,000 silver coins are equal to 1 gold, which is enough to buy a small house. She asks him if he's okay with buying the potion, since she knows it's expensive, so he tells her he'll make the Demon King pay him back. She knows it won't be a problem, because her father has a lot of jewels, and Koji plans to take 15 gold, since he'll also escort her back to her home. He takes her to a room, and tells her to stay there while he buys the potion and gets a friend, since he needs someone to protect her in case they run into trouble. He warns her not to let anyone in, because an adventurer might attack her, and after he leaves, she thinks she might be naive for thinking humans and demons can coexist. There's a knock at the door, so she opens it since she thinks it's Koji, but she's shocked to see a huge girl standing there, and she passes out. Koji introduces her as Teiko, and she notes that even though she doesn't look like it, she's a level 124 monk. Koji tells Alice she doesn't need to worry because Takeo knows she's a demon, and she reveals that she changed her mind about demons when one of them saved her life. She quit being an adventurer and opened a club, but she punches Koji in the stomach because it's been a while since he last visited her. Alice apologizes to her for the way she reacted, and she offers to take her to a hot spring where no one usually comes, so even demons can sneak in. Koji tells Alice not to worry, because even though Takeo looks like a guy, she's actually a woman, and he explains that she burned her chest fat to convert it to muscle, but she gets annoyed at him and kicks him. As they leave, Alice thinks Takeo must be incredibly strong since she managed to hurt Koji, who's at level 999. So she explains it's because monks are 3 times stronger than villagers, even if they're at the same level. She notes that monks are specialists in close combat, and they get a special skill every 100 levels, but in a real fight, she wouldn't stand a chance against Koji. Alice wonders how he got that strong, so Takeo notes that he's fought a lot, and explains that to increase their level, a person needs to gain experience by killing higher level monsters. But Alice is confused, because she hasn't heard of any monsters above level 500. Takeo tells her not to worry about any other person reaching level 999 and defeating her father, because it's something only Koji can achieve. She wonders why that's the case, so Takeo explains that he doesn't have something precious to all living things, and tells Alice she'll learn about it as she travels with them. Countless monsters suddenly descend from the sky, and we see their commander Menno, who tells the humans that the attack is a declaration of war. He notes that the Demon King is launching an all-out assault on humans, and they panic as the monsters attack them, but Koji grabs onto one of the monsters and throws it at the giant birds. Alice sees Rex fighting the monsters as well, so she hides behind Takeo and notes that Koji saved her from his party. Rex uses his sacred lightning to turn one of the birds into dust, and he tells everyone to follow his lead, while Kana notes that they must work together to repel the Demon King's army. Koji stops them and notes that their plan is dangerous, because even if they defeat all the giant birds, he wonders what they'll do when another wave of monsters descends from the sky. They also might miss their attacks, and their weapons could end up hitting innocent people, so he tells Kana her plan is ridiculous. Kana asks for his help to show their power to the demons so that they will stop attacking them, but he thinks they're hitting different places to see which cities they should invade, so he explains that it's better to hide their real power. He decides to talk to Menno, and he jumps up into the air, but Takeo realizes he won't reach, so she gives him a boost. Koji lands behind Menno, who immediately casts his explosion spell to blow him up, but it only burns his clothes, and Menno is shocked that he doesn't even have a single scratch on his body. He opens his stats window, and Menno can't believe he's at level 999, since he thinks humans shouldn't be able to reach that level. He decides to take care of Koji immediately, since he sees him as a threat, but Koji tells him to calm down, since he doesn't plan to go after the Demon King. Menno asks him if he's on the demon's side, so he explains that he isn't their friend, but he isn't their enemy either. Menno wonders what he's doing there if he doesn't plan to fight, so he notes that he just has a question and asks Menno if the Demon King ordered the invasion. He's suspicious about it because Alice said the Demon King was sick, but Menno notes that he's perfectly healthy. Koji asks him if the Demon King gave the order directly, and Menno recalls that it was one of his attendants who ordered them to attack the humans while he was just sitting on his throne. Koji thinks he might have been manipulated, so Menno prepares to head back, but Koji suddenly starts to eliminate the monsters, since he wants the money that they drop. Menno tells him to stop, but Koji warns him against going back, because whoever is controlling the Demon King must see him as a threat. Koji tells him to go back after his monsters have been wiped out, since he needs to make it look like he fought until the end, but Koji accidentally kills the monster they're standing on. Menno panics as they start to fall, but Koji assures him they won't die, and they fall into the woods. Koji starts to gather the money from the monsters, and Menno wonders why Koji isn't killing him, so he notes that he won't do it, since Menno serves Alice and the Demon King. He knows the only reason the demons and humans are enemies is because of the mana from the demons that creates monsters. But he knows they don't do it on purpose, and they only fight humans to protect themselves. As he leaves, he mentions he'll return the next day with Alice, and they will head to the Demon King's castle together. The next day, Alice thanks Koji for talking it out with Menno, and he tells her it usually takes 6 or 7 days to get to the castle, but he explains that they can't use horses since they're afraid of demons. He tells her he knows another way, and they go to a species called the Centaurus, who are half horses, but they think they're superior to everyone else. They look down on Koji and Alice, but as a man whips them, they scream that it feels good, and Koji mentions that they will help in exchange for that pleasure. They go to meet Menno, who thanks Koji for protecting Alice, but he's afraid of Teiko, so Alice notes that she's a good person who also fought for her. Rex's party suddenly comes out of hiding, and they immediately surround them because they think Koji is working with the demons. He suddenly bonks Kana on the head and notes that they shouldn't surround people who are stronger than them, but Rex starts to attack him. He refuses to let them go since the raid hurt a lot of people, so Koji grabs onto his sword and tells Menno to apologize. But he doesn't want to do it since the demons have suffered 100 times more than they have. Rex doesn't care about it, since he thinks everyone who works with demons is evil, so Koji reveals that Alice is the Demon King's daughter, but they let her go since she wasn't a threat to them. He explains that the mana from demons produces monsters, which is why he won't stop them from going after the Demon King, but he notes that he won't let them attack his friends, and he breaks Rex's sword in half. He makes Menno apologize for invading the city, and asks them to give him a little time before they punish Menno, because something weird is going on with the Demon King. Koji notes that he would never order his men to attack humans, but they refuse to believe him, because they think he doesn't know what the Demon King is like, but he reveals that he has already met him. He reminds them the demons have never attacked humans before, but Parna thinks he has been brainwashed, and shoots him with her fireballs, so he quickly runs away with the others. They go to the Centaurus, who continue to look down on Koji, but since Menno saved them, they agree to take them anywhere they like. They get in the carriage, but everyone feels awkward as Teiko whips the Centaurus, since they seem to enjoy it too much. At night, they notice that the first city in their way is called Salmaria, and Koji tells Menno to stay hidden, since they don't want to bother the citizens with his mana. Alice shows him the cloth that stops her mana, but Koji notes that he doesn't have another one like it, so he can't help Menno. He reveals that he attacked Salmaria as well, and notes that the demons' goal was just to show their power, but the real invasion will begin soon, and Salmaria is their first target. They arrive at Salmaria the next day, and the guards sense mana coming from the carriage, so Koji tells them it's coming from his blue devil horns. He notes that Alice always wanted to visit Salmaria, and a guard tells them it's the perfect time, since they're holding a parade to celebrate defeating the demons, and he adds that they're sending a large force to hunt the Demon King. Koji sees the parade, but he thinks that if the monsters near the Demon King's castle launched a serious attack, they would wipe everyone out and destroy any chance of coexistence. He plans to infiltrate the castle and talk to the Demon King before the other humans can get there, but Teiko tells him his plan is too reckless. She asks him what he'll do if the Demon King really wants to destroy humans, so he notes that he'll fight him on behalf of a third force, a united army that wants the demons and humans to live together. Alice notes that if her father has really changed his mind about humans, she will join Koji, and Menno notes that he'll join them as well, since he doesn't want to leave her. At night, Koji buys ice cream for Alice, and they head to a restaurant, where they run into Rex's party. He chases after them, but they manage to get away, and they see the citizens holding a demonstration, where they eliminate a low-level monster to increase morale. Something suddenly crashes to the ground, which turns out to be a hell beast, and they know it isn't part of the show, so they try to run, but there are even more monsters that descend from the sky. They start to wreak havoc, and one of them attacks Koji, but he kills it with a single punch. Rex and the others are still looking for him, and Tina thinks they should tell everyone he's working with the demons, because it will make it easier to find him. Rex doesn't think it's the right move, because Koji could harm people if he's cornered, but Kana disagrees with him, since she thinks Koji isn't evil. Parna asks her if she's lost her mind, and tells her he's working with the demons who attacked their city. But she reminds Parna that he didn't fight back when they attacked him, and he never even tried to force his ideas on them. Rex agrees with her, and they decide to let him go for the time being, but they all have a lot of questions they want to ask him. A hell beast attacks one of the civilians, so Kana summons her barrier to protect him, but the monster breaks through it. It prepares to hit her, but Koji suddenly comes to her rescue and defeats it with a single blow. Her friends arrive, and Rex wonders what kind of skill he used to defeat the monster, but he explains it was just a basic attack, and Kana notes that he's telling the truth. They want to ask him questions, but Alice rushes to his side, and he tells them they need to take care of the situation first. A guard tells them to run away, because a horde of 10,000 monsters is headed toward the city, and they don't believe him, but he tells them he saw it with his own eyes. They know the monsters are coming from the Demon King's castle, which means all of them are high level, so the adventurers in the city won't stand a chance against them. They decide to retreat, and Kana asks Koji to help them evacuate everyone, so he tells them to take care of Alice, while he gets his friends from the inn. They're surprised he's leaving her in their care, and they ask him if he isn't worried they will kill her, since they consider demons their enemies. But he thinks if they really wanted to do that, they wouldn't tell him in advance. As he leaves, Kana hugs Alice, and notes that she'll make sure nothing happens to her, since she has decided to trust Koji. As they evacuate the civilians, Minnow sees that Alice is with them, and he thinks they have taken her hostage, but she calms him down. They think Takeo is a man, but Alice tells them it isn't true, and she's annoyed by how rude they are. She prepares to beat them up, but they explain that Koji told them to take care of Alice, while he left to get his friends. Takeo reveals that they didn't run into him, and a guard notes that he's fighting the horde alone, so they all rush to help him. As they reach Koji, Rex wonders why he's facing the monsters alone, so Takeo notes that he's fighting for both humans and demons. He knows that if the city is destroyed, it will cause irreparable damage to the relationship between humans and demons, which will make it impossible for them to coexist. Rex thinks that even though he's at level 999, he still can't beat the horde alone, but Takeo mentions the thing that he lacks, which every living being has, is the fear of death. Rex wonders what drove him to become so powerful, so Takeo mentions he's just like Rex, whose parents were killed by monsters, and she notes that Koji's father met the same fate. Koji used to wonder why monsters dropped money that the humans needed to survive, but he didn't give it much thought, and lost himself in killing them. His father was killed protecting him, which made him hate himself since he felt helpless, and he started going after the monsters. We learn that the villager is the weakest role, but since they have a high chance of death when fighting monsters, they level up faster than anyone else. He reached level 53 when he was only 9 years old, and even got revenge on the monster that killed his father. But when he returned home, he realized his village was attacked by bandits, and he found his mother's lifeless body. Takeo notes that when their loved one is killed by monsters, they decide to take revenge on all of them, but she wonders if the same thing will happen if a human is responsible. Rex realizes he hasn't been thinking straight because he let his emotions get the best of him, but Kana thinks Koji must have something else in mind, since he admitted that demons are dangerous, so she wants to ask him what made him rebel against how the world works. Everyone decides to fight with Koji, and Minnow notes that he'll help him as well, because he knows it's what Alice wants him to do. We see Koji getting hit, but he refuses to stay down, because he knows the more monsters he defeats, the more it will increase the soldiers' morale. He doesn't care what happens to him, as long as Salmaria is safe, but he ends up getting caught, and a huge one charges up its energy breath. But Rex suddenly hits it with his sacred lightning, and Koji realizes the others have come to help. Minnow casts his explosion magic to take out the flying monsters, while Takeo beats up the ones on the ground, and Tina takes the chance to heal Koji's wounds. He continues to fight the monsters, but one of them throws a huge rock, which smashes him to the ground. He starts to bleed, so Tina heals him again, and asks him why he's being so reckless, but he explains that it's because he trusts them. Everyone works together to defeat the monsters, while Alice watches them from a distance, and she knows they're doing their best, so she wants to do something to help them. Takeo tells Rex she'll deal with the tough monsters, and takes them down with a barrage of punches, revealing that she can bypass their defenses with her skill. He realizes she's stronger than him, since she's over level 100, and Koji realizes that Parna and Kana have area attack magic, so he grabs onto them and jumps up into the air. They use their magic to blast the flying monsters, but when they come back down, they scold him for touching them without permission. We see the other adventurers in the city, and they think Salmaria is finished, so they prepare to run away, but Alice suddenly stops them. She shows them the horde, and they think they don't stand a chance against such high-level monsters, but they see her friends risking their lives to protect the city, which inspires them to join the fight. Koji and his friends continue to fight the monsters, but he realizes they're about to get overwhelmed, since they're all close to their limit. Alice suddenly arrives with the other adventurers, who are ready to fight for Salmaria, and they start to clash with the monsters. She tells Koji he gave them the courage to defend the city, and he praises her for bringing them there, telling everyone they now have a shot at winning the battle. But after some time, we see that the adventurers are already exhausted, and Rex struggles to stay on his feet. The girls tell him to rest, but he explains that he can't, since Koji is still fighting. Tina reveals that he's been taking breaks, and notes that he has a skill that allows him to recover without items, so Rex decides to chill. The others join him, as Minnow reveals that they've almost wiped out the monsters, but the ground suddenly shakes, and a giant robot appears out of nowhere. Koji rushes toward it, but it punches him away, so the adventurers panic and run for their lives. He drinks a healing potion and gets back up, and he sees the demon Essler, who serves as the Demon King's right hand. He realizes Minnow has sided with the humans, since Alice is with them, and Koji prepares to continue the fight, as he notes that they need to do something about the robot. Essler tells him to bring it on, so he charges in again, and strikes the robot in the head, but it has no effect. Essler explains that even though he's at level 999, he's still just a villager, so a level 300 hero would have better stats than him. Essler reveals that there were villagers who also reached high levels in the past, but they were all discouraged by their skills, which turned out to be trash. He thinks Koji can't defeat the robot since he's just a villager, and it smashes him to the ground, as Essler tells him he won't get any stronger, because he has already maxed out his level. He gets back up and drinks a potion to recover, so Essler praises his endurance, but tells him to give up while he still has the chance. Essler reveals that his only goal is to take Salmaria, but Alice tells him to stop, since she knows her father wouldn't want him to attack humans, but he explains that he already knows that. He reveals that he drugged the Demon King to make him weaker, and used him to power up the robot, so Alice realizes he betrayed them. He explains that the robot was made to destroy humanity, by using the Demon King's mana to crush everything in its path, but Koji insists on saving both the city and the Demon King. He rushes toward the robot, which starts to beat him up, but he presses on, and everyone realizes he's getting faster. He knocks the robot back, and follows up with a barrage of kicks, but it immediately recovers and sends him flying. The girls tell him he'll die if he keeps fighting, and note that the potions have lost effect, since he already drank too much, but Parna heals him, and asks him why he's so desperate to fight. He reveals that after a monster killed his father, he went on a quest to get stronger, but he wondered why villagers had to be so weak, and started asking questions about the rules of this world. He notes that after his mother died, he realized that humans and demons are the same, but they're fighting because of the way the world works. He thinks it's unfair that everyone's forced to fulfill their roles, and admits that he's sad he can't level up further. But he reveals that he learned a skill when he reached level 999, which allows him to keep getting stronger as he earns experience. He notes that he wants to find the god who made this world, and make him pay for forcing people into their roles, since he wants everyone to live however they want. He exudes a powerful aura, as he activates his limit break skill, which allows him to double his power temporarily. He jumps up into the air, and smashes the robot with everything he has, allowing him to free the Demon King. He apologizes for making Alice worry, and she introduces him to her new friends, but he tells Rex it's his chance to kill him. He explains that he doesn't want to do it, but Parna prepares to finish him off, and he laughs since he knows she's out of mana. He wonders why Essler betrayed him, so he explains it's because the Demon King refused to take the next step, but they don't understand what he means. He tells Koji there are two ways to learn God's identity, and notes that the first one is to kill the Demon King, but he refuses to do that, so Essler tells him about the second option. He mentions that the guild is selling an expensive item, which will help him learn about God, and Koji thinks he's talking about the mystery chest. He takes the Demon King hostage, and tells Koji that if he doesn't get the chest within a year, he'll use the Demon King's power to threaten all of humanity.